going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dawkins on Duke. This week we got national champion and Carolina dominator, Quinn Cook. It is obviously Carolina week, so we talk a lot about some of his and my favorite Carolina memories. He's got some good ones, so I hope you enjoy it. And as always, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our uploads. Check us out over on YouTube at the Field of 68, where we post clips from all of our podcasts across the entire network. And reach out to us on Twitter at the Field of 68 and my personal Twitter at Dre_Dawkins. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you want to hear from next. But I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll see you on the next one. Cool. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. This week is Carolina week, obviously. Duke Carolina this Saturday. So I had to bring one of the legends of the Duke Carolina rivalry. Guy who's played in some really good ones. Got a pretty good record. I think what you got, 2 sweeps against Carolina?
I got two. 6-2. Should be 7-1. We up that one last year after Carolina came up, but 6-2 isn't bad.
No, 6-2 is real good. So yeah, the one and only Quinn Cook. So I guess we'll start with, like, from your perspective. Obviously you played 4 years, played 8 games against Carolina. What was so special about playing those games, like even leading up to playing the game and then, the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously growing up, where we're from, it's like that's all we know. Carolina, and so many players before us played in that game and come back and tell us how big that game is. This for me is like when I first got to Duke. When I committed to Duke, actually, Duke fans, we're expected to compete for a national championship every year. And Carolina fans expect the same thing. But
absolutely,
I would hear all the time, like, man, look, we can lose every game, but we cannot lose these 2 games. You can kind of just feel like it in the air. And, growing up, like playing AAU, playing high school, we all know each other, but like from each respective schools, but it's just like a different kind of atmosphere when you see each other. It's like, I can't really be as cool as I want with, Harrison Barnes or Kendall Marshall because, they're with our rivals. So I could just feel like the anticipation, like the week. It's not really just, like you said, it's not just game day against Carolina, it's Carolina week. So you can kind of just feel that atmosphere in the air. And I remember when we played my freshman year, the first game, and like it was just the longest day of my life. Like it was just so long. It was a 9 o'clock game.
9 o'clock tip, yep.
So we had a walk through, and like the bus ride over there was just, it just felt everything was just a long wait. When I got in there, we get booed and stuff. It was just something that, I'd never been a part of. And obviously that was probably one of the crazier games in the rivalry, but it's just something about the rivalry that's just everybody takes pride in it.
Yeah. Had you been to one before you got to Duke? Like, did you come on a visit to see any of them? No. So your first experience was at Carolina as a freshman in the game. That's crazy. Because I came to one, I think. I came to the the Danny Green over Greg Paulus one. So that was not a great night for us. But I mean, the atmosphere was crazy. We were actually we were behind the bench, but we were up against the wall. So, we had to stand, you had to stand the whole game. Which wasn't super fun, but it was like, shoot, I'm here watching Duke Carolina. It's not that big. Yeah, it's all good. So we all know you have a real good relationship with Nolan Smith, All-American, one of the best players to ever put on a Duke jersey. So what advice or anything that he give you, as he was heading out and you were coming in, about the Duke Carolina game?
Just how nervous he used to be before he because everybody was watching that game. NBA players, pros, just everybody watches. You cannot be a sports fan and not watch that. I don't care if you're a football guy, baseball, whatever. Everybody watches Duke Carolina game. And that's how like he used to always be like, man, I used to just be nervous. Like, don't be nervous telling me. I'm like, bro, you my idol, bro. If you nervous, bro, pep talk didn't work, bro. But just he just tell me how, just crazy the games were, man. And as soon as the ball tipped up, it was just a different atmosphere. Obviously, Cameron is always live, but that tip off, starting lineups to tip off, it's incredible because you got all our fans, all the crazy have been waiting outside, in the snow, rain, whatever. So when a game comes in, they let it all out, man. They give us everything. And a couple games, your last one there, was a barn burner, and my last one there was a barn burner. And we don't win those games without the fans. So
absolutely,
definitely a 6-man for sure for us.
Yeah, I'd say Cameron. Cameron is definitely worth it. Worth 5-6 points, like easily. Especially those Duke Carolina games, man. Like, it's crazy. Like to Duke Carolina at home, like, because it's like you said earlier, so much anticipation. Like not even that week, but once second semester starts, they start camping out. And so every day we're going to practice, we're going to games, and there's people out there, and it gets more full and more full. And then, especially that night, it's people all over the place. The line is down all the way down the street, and you're like, yo, this is, like, I mean, all of our games are sold out at home, right? But it's just like, it's just turned up another level. It's crazy.
For sure.
So, you mentioned earlier your freshman year, first game at Carolina. I don't know, kind of a memorable one, I guess. What's crazy is like, I feel like the games they're long, but they're quick. Like at the end, you're like, man, like it's over already. But like when you're in it, you're like, can we get to the end? So freshman year, we go to Carolina, and I've said this a couple of times. I'll say it again. That Carolina team was better than us, and that's not like they were good. They were nice. They had some players on that team, and so yeah. Tell me, what do you remember about that game?
I remember. So we played them on a Wednesday. I remember that Sunday we lost to Miami, and I got like my first chance to really like close a game in the ACC besides Georgia Tech. But we were kind of up like 12, 13 against Georgia Tech. So, but this was like my first week. Remember, because we came back and he left like the second unit in, subbed some starters in at the end, but he left me in. And I remember I made some two bad plays against Miami, and we end up losing. Not saying it was all my fault, but I made 2 bad plays, made some freshman mistakes. That Monday, we came in. I don't remember if we practiced. I think we just had a preview of Carolina, and just seeing how good they were on film, because obviously we're watching, college on our own. We're paying attention to what's going on, but you know how in depth we get in the film theater, and I was like, wow, like this is it. Like this. At Tuesday, I remember we had a really, really, really good practice, a really good competitive practice, and like we're Duke at the end of the day, and that was a really good Carolina team. But I mean, we won Maui. I mean, we were one of the best teams in the country too.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'll say this. Like, I'll say it now. They were better than we were. I wasn't saying it then.
Right. No, sure.
Like, nah, we gonna go ahead and get this done.
Even at the moment, like it felt good, because obviously for me, looking like I'm a basketball, like I love, bro. I would watch basketball all day. So like my freshman year, I kind of was still like, I used to be I'm still in all of Coach K, but like when he used to come around, like I would just be like fan mode still.
Yeah.
So, like my first time going to Carolina, and I was very outspoken and like coming up in my recruitment. Like, man, I grew up a Carolina fan. Like, you know, until Nolan went to Duke, like I was a Carolina guy because of Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that aspect, and I remember on Tuesday we had a really good practice, and I think we came back because obviously it was a road game, but it's still like we kind of treated it like a home game. So that night at 9, we had our meeting, and we had our milkshakes and everything, and we left the meeting like, we're gonna win this game.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I really remember that. Like I don't remember what coach said or what the vibe was, but I remember leaving out, and you know we used to go grab the milkshakes. We grabbed 4 milkshakes the night before the game. Like I'm like, bro, we really gonna win this game.
Yeah.
Not knowing how much I was gonna play, because obviously my minutes, went up and down that year, but I didn't care. Like I was just, man, I'm ready to play, and I got some dogs with me. Like so, it is what it is. Whoever's gonna be better tomorrow, and that was our mindset going into that game. And you know, it was up and down. We were the first half back and forth seesaw. Second half, they kind of established their dominance a little bit, and we kind of stayed the course. They made a run late, crowd going crazy, and I promise you, bro, like that last like little segment, like when Tyler steals the ball, hits the 3, and Seth hits the crazy 3. Right? Like, bro, I really don't remember none of it. Like,
no, I don't either. I actually had to watch it. I've been before we started, I had to watch like the Duke Blue Planet recap of it, because I was like, what happened?
Yeah, because it was so much, bro. Like, Ryan Zeller tips it in. Like,
the sequence is crazy, because I think we were down 10 with like 2 minutes left. Tyler, who I just looked at the box score, he was like 0 for 5 at the time. He like pass fakes and steps back into a 3, knocks it down, and then Mason steals it, cross court to Seth for a transition 3.
Does he travel? Is that a travel?
I thought about that when I was watching it. I was like, it kind of looks like a travel. Hey, what I always say is, man, if they ain't call it, it ain't a travel.
Call it cash. NBA ring.
Yeah. So yeah, it was deep too. Seth knocks down a 3. I think maybe they get a free throw or something. So we get it back. Ryan like misses a 3 in the corner, gets it back, shoots a bad shot, like, and makes it. It's like over 2 people. It's just like stuff was just it was weird. And then I think they make for something. Ryan shoots that 3 from the wing, and Zeller tips it in, which was like, and you're just like, what is going on?
Then they had to go look and see like what they was gonna call.
Yeah.
Delay, like.
Yeah. That's right. So yeah, we're waiting. We're trying to see what's happening, and we're like, it's a 3. We're tied.
We're tied.
But they called it a 2. And then Zeller, we're down 1. I remember this. We're down 1. We foul. Either coach called the timeout before we foul or after. I don't know. Coach called the timeout at some point, and he calls 2 plays. He says, "Here's a play if we're down 3. Here's a play if we're down 2." Zeller comes down. He makes the first, misses the second. We get the rebound, so we're running play 2. And honestly, it was for Austin to drive, like to get to the. We're down 2. It's for him to get to the basket, get the switch, get downhill, and. Yeah, it was crazy. It's a ball screen. Mason rolls. I feel from the other side, and Seth's in the strong side corner, and I'm at top of the key now. I'm looking, and I'm like, honestly, at this point, it's like 3 seconds. I'm like, don't pass me this stuff, like, 'cause I don't. I'm not ready for this. And then, Seth's in the corner, you can see it from this angle. Seth is like, we're like, go, like, you got to do something. So he pulls up, and I got like the best look at it. And I'm like, yo, that looks really good. And you know how that is, like, it's in slow motion. It takes forever, and you're watching it. And I'm like, that looks really good. And then it goes in, and then it's like a blackout for me. Like I just, I took off. I think Mason was so tired that he just celebrated on that end. Like I don't think he even ran to the dog pile. And then you come flying in. I think that's just one of like the funniest things to me is you come flying in and like the dog pile has started and you kind of look at the dog pile and you're like, nah, I'm not gonna jump in on that. And then that's where the student section is, where we had ended up dog piling, and this is Quinn all in the student section.
I had been planning that celebration that whole. I didn't know when I was going to do it. It worked out perfect.
Oh yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those games where like if you watch it, I haven't watched the full game since, I don't think, but if you watch it, you're just like, you ever watch the game where the ending, but you're like, how did they get how did that happen? Because it doesn't make sense. Like, no,
10 years later.
No, yeah, it doesn't. Like, if you watch that second half, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is Carolina's gonna win by about 12.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where coach is not like. Coach is not going to give, like, coach is not going to pack it in. Coach is never going to say like, all right, like, man, bump it. We ain't got it tonight. He's going to fight for every possession, which makes us fight for every possession. And you never know what happens. You never know what happens.
Right. I didn't until that year. I never looked at basketball as like possessions, right? Like 12 and down 12. Like, nah, bro. Like,
6 possessions.
Man, get a stop. Hit a 3, down 9. Get another stop, get a bucket 7. Now they call timeout. You get another stop, hit a 3, now it's 4. It's like that season was very like, even though like, I didn't play as much as I wanted. Like it was the best learning curve for me because like I saw basketball in a different light.
Yeah.
And you play for coach, like the way he coaches, like I never had a coach like if we down 3, this is what's gonna happen. If this is gonna happen. Like I never like, you know what I'm saying? So you really had to be locked in, and all of us was locked in that year. So
yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. It's weird. He has like these, I don't know if he's got like a sixth sense or something, but he has moments, and because you played with him for 4 years, where we get into a timeout and things aren't looking great. And he just looks at everybody and is like, we're going to win.
Sure.
And you're like.
It was random time. At the time you think like.
Yeah.
Look. You not watching the game?
Yeah, like your immediate reaction is like, I don't know about that one, coach. But then like, you're like, yeah. We're going to win. Okay, I mean, like I think he did that game. He did that NC State comeback. At one point, we were still down. He's like, yeah, we're going to win. And I don't know what, like, it triggers something in the players that's just like, okay, all right, cool. Guess we're going to win the game. And we go out and win. I don't know if he's ever been wrong. I don't know if he's ever said that and we not win the game.
That's why he's a GOAT.
Facts. Big facts. Big facts. They did exact some revenge later that year, but we ain't going to talk about that. This is a... We ain't gonna talk about all that. But yeah, that was a wild one, and it's like I don't really remember like after that. Like I remember taking off, and then I don't remember how we got back to the locker room. I don't remember what we did in the locker room. I don't remember getting back. Like I don't remember none of that.
I remember I don't remember any other celebration after the dog pile. I do remember me like hyping all, like I had.
Yeah. I saw that.
I was like hyping them up. Like I was his agent or so, I don't know. I was more excited than him. I remember that. I don't remember the locker room. I don't remember anything else. But I remember when we got on the bus and coach was watching Austin's interview.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Austin interview, and I don't know if I stopped or if I was with Austin and he stopped and grabbed Austin, but he told Austin, he was just like, yo, you handled this perfectly. Like, this was probably your best game since you've been here, and you just bigged up the team. Like, obviously, it's the biggest game of the season. You know, this is your moment to where, like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. But Austin really bigged up the team. And I remember Coach saying that to him, and I just remember the ride back was so fast. It was like
the bus was just there.
Back as fast as possible. The opposite of when we was going to the game.
Yeah.
And I just remember the students, like, that was my first.
I remember that. I remember that when we got back.
It was all she wrote.
Yeah, it was nuts. Before we continue our conversation, let me tell you guys a little bit about our partners over at BetRivers Sportsbook. If you haven't signed up with BetRivers yet, now's the time because they are offering a $250 match bonus for your first deposit. But what sets them apart is that they require just one playthrough to turn your bonus into cash money. With their new Rush Pay instant approval, withdrawing your winnings is safer, more secure, and more reliable. With basketball season in full swing, get in on the action by going to betrivers.com today or by downloading the BetRivers iOS app. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So then we'll fast forward to your senior year. It wasn't senior night. No, it was February. Y'all played at Carolina in March. So it was February, had the first Carolina game. Another comeback.
Yeah.
It's kind of back and forth, looked like, for most of the game. And then I think they went up 10 in the second half.
Yeah.
I was your senior year, you know, I was with Tyus, Jalil, Justice, Emil, Matt Jones, Marshall, and Grayson. What do you remember about that game, you know, especially when you guys are down 10 in the second half and it's looking, you know, not so great?
Yeah. I remember that game, obviously my last, so, you know, I had the whole fam call. Usually I didn't really like my family coming to those games because it's the atmosphere, it's rowdy, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. So obviously it was the last one, so I had my family there. I remember I went off in the first half. I seen, like, Carolina loves leaving a strong corner.
Yeah.
And we had Josh, so I think my first three was a strong side corner three. Then my next three was a three off Ja. And, you know, as a shooter, man, you see it, your first two go in.
Oh, yeah.
And you liable to get 30. So I had 16 in the first half. We was winning. He made an adjustment on me in the second half. And I just looked up, bro, and we was losing. Like, because we were better than them that year.
Yeah.
Like you said, like, it doesn't matter the record, it doesn't matter the rankings or anything. Like, it's going to be rarely you'll see a blowout in that game. So
yeah, you know, 2010 senior night, 30 point.
Yeah, I beat that.
30 point ass whooping. But we don't need to talk about it. You know, it's all.
But yeah, bro, I don't remember. Like, I was so locked in, bro. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember them going up. Like, I don't remember. I just remember coach calling the timeout. Probably the under 12. Whatever the score was. Man, we're gonna win this, like you said, we're gonna win this game. Like, we're gonna win this game. And we stayed the course. Tyus, Justice made plays. Job was just steady in the second half. Guys came in and made plays. And, you know, I remember we were down like 6 or something with a minute left, and we pressed, got a steal. And we made plays, bro. But like that second half is a blur. Like, I remember the first half vividly because, like, I was killing and I wasn't really doing the same thing. So it was kind of like a blur, but I do remember overtime. I remember us regrouping and still was seesawing back and forth. Had some big stops. Yeah, we got it done. And that was memorable. Sure.
Speaking of big stops, so you guys are down 2 in regulation. I think like 30-something seconds left. Tyus gets the layup, you know, drives, gets the layup, and they get the last possession. What is that like? How is it difficult to, you know, go from the high of like, oh, we just tied, you know, we just made a big comeback, we just tied it, and then it's like, oh, we still got to get a stop. Like, is it hard to flip that switch and say, okay, like, bump that, you know, that big bucket on that end, we still got work to do on the other end?
I mean, not for us. I mean, you know how coach is. You know, next play mentality, and obviously we want to win a game. But I always revert back to practices and our scrimmages and stuff we used to have in practice. Like we used to always have like different scenarios and different. Like, so when we get to that point, Duke Carolina, it's like second nature. And also, and we fought this hard to get back. We ain't about to give up. Nah, beat us in overtime. You ain't about to here. And we were really good defensively that year. So, I mean, I bet the house on us getting a stop at the crib, you know.
Yeah.
Rival for sure.
Yeah. And then, so, you know, you get the stop. It's tied up, obviously, going into overtime. Did you guys feel like, you know, this is our game? They had their chance to win. It's our time to win it now.
There's no way we was losing that one.
Yeah.
Even though like we still, you know, we scored, they scored, and we scored. Still was going back and forth. There was no doubt that we was going to lose.
Yeah. So let's talk about this year. This year's team. How much have you gotten to watch of Paolo and crew?
Yeah, I've watched every game. Probably I caught every game that I've could. I love the team. I love them. You know, we got some guys, you know, from the crib. You know, and Trevor, man, I basically raised Trevor, man. So he grew up the biggest fan. So to see him, you know, playing and killing for Duke is just surreal. And I love, you know, Paolo. I think he's the best player in the country. I don't think it's close. I love Mark's development. Obviously, we remember when Mark used to come up there to see Liz. Blocking everything, rebounding, dunking everything is great. Wendell's progression, you know, from year 1 to year 2 to year 3 has been tremendous. And Nolan told me this summer, man, he was like, man, Wendell didn't leave. Wendell's been here, you know, the entire summer, you know, and showing off. I think
he's amazing.
Factor to this team, and you know, you got so many guys, and I love it. You know, I think obviously it's a surreal year, it's a special year because it's coach's last year, but you know how coach is. Coach is always in the moment, and coach thinks it about, you know, the team. This is the last time this team will ever be together. Not just my last year. This is the last time all of those guys is going to be together. So, you know, taking it one game at a time, and we got 2 big road wins to get some momentum to probably get another one on Saturday.
For sure. So predictions, what we got? Give me a score.
Yeah. Carolina's been struggling. We're kind of hot, but you know they're gonna come out, you know, very, 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 very aggressive, very desperate.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, it's Duke Carolina. I got us winning like maybe 86-80, 86-78. Get some free throws at the end.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 86-78. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be back and forth.
Yeah.
You know, just with the anticipation of the game from the players. No team's going to lay down. So they got some talent. They got a lot of talent over there too. So coach's last time in Chapel Hill, I think it's going to end the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm kind of with you. I was going to go somewhere like 85-81, 85-80, something like that. Because it's like you said, they're desperate. They need, you know, they've had some losses. They need a good resume builder for the tournament. And it's Duke Carolina. So, you know, that always factors in. So I think it'll be a tough one, but, you know, these last couple of games, especially the game against Louisville, you know, I liked what I saw. I mean, I think they were, you know, progressing. You got Trevor back. And, you know, they were able to put Louisville away down the stretch, which was good. So I'm looking forward to it. But, you know, I think we'll get this one.
No doubt.
No buzzer beater needed on this one, I don't think.
What was your favorite game, or what was your favorite moment from the rivalry?
I mean, I think obviously the first one, number one, is Austin's shot. Because that's just like, it's so surreal, and it's like, you know, it's a moment that only 15 of us get to have, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't replicate that. You can't, like, I don't know. It's nothing like a buzzer beater at Carolina because it was so quiet. Like, they're it's 21,000 in there. They're allowed the whole game. And then like it's just so quiet. That's like the most beautiful sound in the world.
Sure.
And then, you got a bunch of these over there. So yeah, that's gotta be number one. I think my freshman year at home, beating them like that, beating them by 30 was pretty cool. Just because, the energy was just nuts all game long. And, we never let up. And, we were obviously very good.
Senior night?
Yeah, senior night. Yeah, John Lance Zoop, senior night. Yeah, the first one, I think we won by 10 there. And, we kind of pulled away at the end. John hit some shots down the stretch. And the second game, we just blitzed them. And so that's up there. Especially like at the end, the lob, Kyle got the lob to Miles, and he got head at the rim and monkey dunking it. So that that's cool. And then probably the other one is sophomore year, the comeback at home where Nolan and Seth were going crazy in the second half, and we were getting our asses kicked. And Nolan and Seth put the team on the back. And that one's funny because I was sitting with Josh and Kai. Obviously Kai was hurt. And it was just fun. It's like, you're obviously not taking Nolan and Seth out. So I wasn't playing. But I was like, whatever, I don't care. Like we were just having so much fun watching them dudes go cook. And then, obviously Cameron is Cameron. So I think those would be my top three.
You got some great ones.
Yeah, we had some good games. So you got your senior night, you got Austin. What's the other Carolina memory?
I like my junior year game as well. The game at home. That was Tyler's senior night. That was Tyler.
Yep. Yeah. That was our senior night. Yeah. Yep.
So you, Tyler, Josh, and Todd.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember because I had a rough second half of the season that year. So I'm in and out to start lineup, and I kind of was in my own head and in my own things. And I remember like I didn't start that game. I was upset, but I'm like, bro, let's just beat them because they like we gave them the game.
Yeah.
So okay, cool, whatever. And I remember played a little bit the first half or whatever, got in early the second half. You come in the game and you get the steal, give it to me, pick, like how we used to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's right away. And I'm just coming down. I'm gonna see if I get a shooter, but see if I can get a layup. I get the little layup, reverse layup. And probably like one of my best plays of my career. But I remember after the game, like my Twitter and stuff was going crazy because like Dickie V was going nuts. Like, Dickie V had me turned. That was cool. And then obviously how we won the game, like we end up pulling away, and it felt good just because like all that, like it doesn't matter, bro. Like it doesn't matter as long as you contributed to the game. I could say like I always wanted to play well enough to where I went and filmed the next day. Like I knew it wouldn't be a rough day. Like that was I want to go to the NBA, but I don't want to get you know what I'm saying? So I was at the crib. I'm like, bro, like I had 3 great box outs, bro.
Yeah.
Outlet passes, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't care how many points I had, like I didn't care, bro. And it's crazy. Like, it clicked for me my junior year, our last regular season game. Like I didn't care, bro. So that game, I love that game.
Yeah. It is wild though, like how much you think about film the next day in the middle of games. Like I remember always thinking about film, like, oh no, like I got backdoored. Oh, they clipping that.
You closed out short on a shoot.
Yeah, they clipping that.
You ran a non-shooter off the line.
Oh, yeah, clip. That's gonna be a clip. They're like, God dang. And then it's
let us lose.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like once you get like three or four bad clips, you like, all right, we gotta win. Like we gotta win.
Hey, I'm sorry.
That's the only thing, bro. You gotta get the dub.
I'm sorry, bro. You're my brother. I know this is Carolina week, but yo, bro, do you remember how we started when we lost at Temple and how we started, Phil?
Oh yeah. That was bad. That was bad. What's funny is like I thought about that during the game, like as it's coming down the stretch, and I'm like, damn, we might lose. And I'm like, he's definitely gonna show that clip, bro. I was like, bro, we got to win.
Bro, it's funny because it was Christmas break and we were staying at the Wad Duke.
Yeah.
Tyler was my roommate, and when we got back, bro, like literally, he just turns the TV on. And obviously, when we lose, like the first thing on Sports Center.
Oh yeah, yep.
I think I want to say it was Scott Van Pelt. Like, well, Duke is probably the best team in the country, but they like to have fun too. Well, they showed. I'm like, because I'm really thinking. I'm like, well, maybe they don't know. Like,
yeah.
Maybe they ain't see it. We're not gonna talk about it after the loss.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know. Obviously, camera catches us, and I remember we going the next morning. Man, coach had his knee pads on. He like, oh, y'all jokesters, huh? Kevin, play it. Just play
Yep. Run it.
Freeze frame. It's you, Tyler, Mason, Seth, and Josh. Bro, y'all had the biggest smiles on y'all face. I'm happy I'm short because I was kind of in the back. No, it wasn't Seth because Seth ran out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Seth went out. Yeah.
Seth went out, yeah, but it was y'all. And y'all had like the biggest Kool-Aid smiles on y'all face. Like, man, bro, that was the scariest. That was the scariest. Like, my heart was in my stomach, bro. Yeah. Just like I said, we just thinking about film. Like, man, that's why we gotta box out. Mm-hmm. Gotta take charges. We gotta do everything because we're gonna see about it in the film. That's what makes it great.
That's one of the. That was one of the things. Like one of the only things I thought about when we were down 20 at home against State, is like I remember Scott would hit the free throw, and I turn and look, and we're down 20, and I'm like, yo, film tomorrow's about to be nuts. And I was like, yo, this is about to be real bad.
I remember people used to be like, man, y'all lucky because tomorrow was gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Right. We won though. It don't matter.
Yeah, we got the dub. We show only the good plays now. Bro, I remember I think it was my junior year. I remember my junior year at Clemson. We were going to Clemson, and in film, they had showed that they don't box out on the weak side. So they were like, guards, you can get in and get old boards. And I got a tip dunk, which like I don't do tip dunks. You know what I'm saying? I think I was a junior. I ain't had a tip dunk since high school. So I got a putback dunk, and I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be sweet on film." And then I was like, "But we gotta win. Like we gotta win, or he's not gonna show it." And we lose the game. And I'm like, "Damn, I'm not gonna get to see that joint on film tomorrow."
That was your last year.
Oh, that was okay. Well, and then it had been even longer since I had a tip dunk.
Yeah, that was your last year. I remember
that. Yeah, good times, man. But that's all I got. Appreciate the time. And let's go Duke. Let's get a win this weekend.
Great, appreciate you, brother. Love you to death, man. Appreciate
you.
Sure.
Love you, bro.